So a woman has, oh gracious, it look Barry has a camel toe. Hello knockouts, Tonya TKO here, and I'm a self-love specialist from TonyaTko.com. I help you learn how to love yourself and each other. Today is Man Day. For the rest of the world it's Monday, but on the Tonya TKO show, it's Man Day, which is the one day of the week where I make videos specifically geared towards my male viewers. So if you have questions or anything that you would like for me to answer, make sure that you submit them on my website, and make sure that you support the show. As you know, I am a self-love specialist, and I just wrote a book called the Book of Affirmation Self-Love, and it's a workbook filled with different affirmations that are specifically created by me, a certified clinical hypnotherapist, to be able to rewrite your subconscious mind for confidence, for getting rid of insecurities, self-consciousness, etc. So make sure that you come over to my website. If you like content like mine, support the content creators and support yourself. I want you to be able to rewrite that negative self-talk. All of us have negative self-talk, but for many of us, it holds us back from being able to do the things that we want to do. And I want you to be able to counteract that with these positive affirmations, with these self-love affirmations that will help shift you into overcoming adversity and being able to have the confidence that you need to be able to make the first move, like we're going to be talking about today. Because women do, traditionally speaking, men make the first move, but in this day and age, you might not really know how. There's so many barriers to being able to get from how we are here to being how we want to how we want to be. So I'm going to use this beer. I'm going to use this beer as my prop and example today so that I can demonstrate for you how to progress a relationship into the next stage. All right, so let's get started. All right. So there are three different types of ways to progress. If you have not had intercourse yet and you want to progress from a non-intercourse state into being able to have intercourse, if you have had intercourse and you're not in a position, you're not already in a pre-intercourse position, or if you have had intercourse and you are in a pre-intercourse position, like perhaps laying next to one another, etc. So let's get started with how do you progress it from not having had any type of sexual relationship into being able to get to that barrier. And I'm dedicating this video to someone who spoke with me about not really being sure himself. And he said that when he was looking for information on how to make the move, that there were no videos out there for him to be able to do that. So I'm making this video and I'm dedicating it to him. All right. So this is Barry right here, and Barry is going to be my I don't want to say test dummy. I'm sorry, not test dummy, but you're gonna be my assistant. Okay, I'll just say assistant. All right, so Barry's gonna be my assistant, and so I'm going to be the man in the situation, and Barry is going to be the girl. All right, or the woman. Right. So one of the things that you want to do is you want to make sure that you've built rapport. And see, when it comes to women, it can be a little bit difficult to know whether or not you've built a a sexual rapport, or whether or not you've built one that could lead to intimacy, or whether or not you've just built like a friendly kind of rapport. And so one of the things that you want to do is you want to kind of test the waters a little bit. One of the mistakes that I hear a lot of men making is that they feel like other men are so nasty that they want to make themselves devoid of that nastiness so that they could respect women, etc. And you have to find a happy median and a happy balance in the middle, because a woman is expecting you to be a little bit nasty. Honestly speaking, we're expecting you to be a little nasty. And you kind of have to test the waters to see where it is that she's at with that. One of the things that you have to do is you have to make comments that only a man would make to this woman. Because if the comments that you're making are the same type of comments that a girlfriend would make, then you can kind of get lost in the sauce a little bit. And so you kind of have to remind her that you are in fact a man, that you do in fact have a penis, that you are heterosexual, and that you are interested in her. Don't, men for the most part, they will gravitate towards women that they have an interest in romantically. However, women are very different. You know, a woman can have you around as just a friend and be talking to you about other men because she sees you as benign, non-threatening, etc. And you have to know what it is that you want and save yourself a lot of pain and heartache by letting it be known that, yeah, you are in fact interested. You have got to put that out there, and you've got to see what her response is like. So you can, if you are in a phone type of situation, or if you've met online, you've got to kind of test the waters with making comments about how pretty she looks, sexy. Because a woman is not going to, well, a woman may tell another woman that she's sexy, but only if she really knows her. You know what I'm saying? So if you let it be known that you do have some sort of sexual interest, that you find her sexually appealing, you know, in your own way, if you need specific examples, write to me for that. But if you don't, you know, create the ones that feel natural for you, right? So kind of test the waters, typing out a little, you know, a little hint, you know, and then from that little hint, take it to the next level, and then from there to the next level if you're in person, right? And then here comes Barry for the demonstration. All right, Barry. All right. So one of the things that you have to remember is that women are really women are strange creatures, in that a woman may not be as vocal about what it is that she doesn't want. She may not, because you know what, women have it's a part of our genetic programming not to be very confrontational with men, because a woman can get hurt. Like the women who were most confrontational, many of them probably didn't make it into this day and age because they were probably stomped out in the prehistoric times, you know, and they just didn't make it because they, you know, they confronted men and they maybe tried to fight them or whatever. I don't know. So women are kind of strange in that they won't necessarily speak up, like get off, you know, they won't necessarily do that unless they are perhaps prepared for a fight, or in a way that they can defend themselves or somebody else can defend them, etc. So you really 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 have to pay attention to cues. So you have to, first of all, you have to maintain personal space with a woman, because you can make a woman really uncomfortable and not know that you're making her uncomfortable. So, but if you want, like, you want the relationship to progress, so you can't be afraid to enter into that space, but you have to do it in such a way that you ease your way in there. You don't just come out and be like, hey, you know what I'm saying? You have to kind of ease your way. So you give a person the space that they need, and then you kind of ease your way in, right? And you see how they're responding, how they respond. So take a look at their feet. Are their feet pointed towards you, or are their feet pointed away from you? If their feet are pointed towards you, that's a good sign. It means that she's into it, she's turned in, she's tuned in, she's present with you. If her feet are pointed in another direction, that means that you haven't built up the rapport to be able to get closer than you actually are. So continue to build up the rapport, tell funny stories, let her get her guard down, talk about yourself, etc., etc. How do you know when a woman is interested? There are some signs. You know, she'll be, her body will be turned towards you, especially the feet. When the feet are turned all the way in, her body's turned in. So we could be like this, right? And you know that the rapport, there's a big cavern. There's like the Moses's Red Sea between us, right? And she can turn, you know, to kind of hear what it is that you're saying, but look down at the feet. Are the feet turned too? If the feet are still pointed in that direction, she's half in. When she turns her feet and she's, you know, and she is turned into you, then that means that you guys have developed rapport is that the door may be open for you to be able to find an entryway. How do you get that entryway? All right. Start with the okay, so the bear has little arms, right? So I'm going to show you with the elbow. Touch the elbow. right? The elbow is a bony part of the arm. It is a safe place to, once you've built that rapport, it's a safe place to touch a person, you know, while you're laughing. Ha 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 ha. Just tap the elbow and see how she responds. Does she flinch? Does she pull back? Do her feet turn back in another direction? You know, if not, if she's still into it, touch the elbow again, maybe leave your hand, let it linger a little bit longer, right? And one of the things that you want to do is you want to enter into the barrier, right? So there's a natural barrier that exists around all of us, and what you want to do is you want to enter into the barrier. So you just want to touch the So you just want to touch the arm slightly, maybe let the arm linger, see how the conversation is going. If she still seems into it, then that means that things are okay. You know, that you're going in the right direction, that this is, you know, that you're headed, that you've built up the type of rapport that would make physical contact okay. So, you know, just touch the elbow, you can talk. You can tap it while you're talking, right? If she doesn't pull away, if she doesn't like kind of shift or, you know, kind of move her arm or whatnot, but if she allows you to touch her arm and she's okay with it and she's into it, you know, you can just have your conversation and just touch the arm. Another safe space to go from the elbow is right up here, to the softer part of the arm. You can touch right there, see if, you know, see how things are, you know, tap touch, you know, just to build the connection, just to kind of open the door to her feeling comfortable with your hands on you, to feel with your hands on her, to feel the vibration that you're emitting, etc. Because we all have an electrical charge inside of us, and you have to be able to, you know, to touch a person. You know what I mean? Especially because you can't get to that next stage unless you get to the touch part. You got to touch somehow, right? So the arm is a really safe place. You know, just if you could just do it naturally, right? Then you can progress to the forearm area right here. See if you can get closer to the hands. If a person lets you touch their hand with fingers between the hands, you're doing well. If they kind of move back, then just go back to an area that she feels comfortable with you touching. If she kind of like tries to, you know, move out of that, don't just pull back. Don't, you know, just go back to the elbow. If she pulls back from that, then you have to start all over from scratch. Start from scratch. So as you see right now, my hand is just naturally behind Barry right now. I'm touching on Barry's arm a little bit, leaning in, you know, getting into that personal space just a little, but not all up on, you know, not all up on Barry, but just in the personal space. Just a little bit, right? And you see this looks very comfortable. We're in a comfortable space. If you want to bring it in a little bit closer, you know, you have to first read the situation, and if the situation's going well, you know, you can probably move the arm in, probably scoot in a little bit closer, and see how does Barry respond. Does Barry turn away or does Barry turn in? If Barry turns in, then that's good. Then you got your arm, and then with the arm you have access to the shoulder right there, right? One of the things that I want you to keep in mind is that with women, you don't want to rub on any one spot for too long. Women are built in with natural defense mechanisms from becoming aroused from continuous touch in the same area. So it'll actually start to become irritating to her if you rub in the same area too much. So you're going to have to touch and stop, you know, touch and stop. You know what I mean? You have to touch and then you have to stop or move to a different area, touch a different part, and then you can move back. But you don't want to stay in the same area for too long. You don't want to maintain the same level of touch. You know, you could just touch lightly, then, you know, you can be a little more firm, and then move to a different part, touch lightly, be a little more firm. But you don't want to stay in the same area rubbing over and over and over and over again. It'll become irritating and actually a turn off. All right, so you want to mix that up. All right. So now here you've been able to touch it. Why is your foot pointing that way? No, you're gonna come in close. So now the foot is in. She's leaning in. Things are going good. You know, I'm rubbing on her arm, right? Everything is good. Everything is good. I may be touching her hand too, right? Rubbing the arm, touching the hand. And then now is the time that you can progress into a more intimate thing. So first time, right? So first time moving in for the kiss, it can be a little awkward, right? Maybe you want to maybe you want to smell her and tell her how nice she smells. See how she responds with you being close to her neck. You smell so nice, Barry. Oh, do I? That's my favorite perfume. Wait, why am I making my voice lighter for a woman's voice? That's so funny. All right. So you smell really nice, Barry. Thank you, right? And so, just kind of nuzzle on the neck a little bit, get that little smell in, tell her she's smelling wonderful. Even if she doesn't have anything on, just her natural body is just gonna smell wonderful, right? So you see how she responds. Does she lean in for it? Does she enjoy you being close to her? If she does, then maybe you could plant a little kiss on her neck. Move the kiss up to right here. Maybe give a little kiss right there, right? A dry one. Please don't make it wet. Just a little peck, okay? And maybe a little one right there behind the ear. If you can reach around there, right? Well, not with the sound. Don't do the sound. Just you can make it silent, right? You all right, Barry? Okay, Barry's okay. All right. And then, right, you want to take it to the next step. And it can be awkward progressing into a kiss, especially if you don't know if a person wants a kiss. And then you go in for the kiss and they're like, they curve you. I'm sure that's not a good feeling. I wouldn't want something like that to happen to me. So, very first time, you can say something along the lines of, you could say something along the lines of, you look like you want me to kiss you. Say something like that. See what she says. Does she giggle? Or is she like, no? No, I don't. So if you're like, you look like you want me to kiss you. And she's like, and then you just go kiss right here and see how she responds. If you kiss right here, see how she responds. Does she moan? Does she open up her mouth? Does she turn away to make sure that you don't get closer than that? If she does turn away, just you just pull back. You know what I mean? Just kiss her right here until you warm her up a little bit if she wants to be warmed up, depending on how much she turns away. Maybe she's not ready to do a full slobber down kiss yet. Maybe she just wants to enjoy the titillation leading up to the kiss. You know what I mean? But does she turn in? Does she You smell so good, Barry. Do I? Does she turn in for it? Does she turn away? Kiss her right there. Ah. And then go very slow, and see if she is going to allow you to kiss her on the mouth, right? If she turns away, then that's if she turns away from the mouth kiss, and you just kiss her back on that side, and then pull back a little bit. One of the things that we have got to do as men and women is we really have to be very open about what it is that we want and what it is that we don't want, and we have to allow women to be able to come forward. Because if she is not if you're playing tennis and you're the only person throwing balls, you're not playing tennis. You're just you're not playing tennis. It has to be returned back to you. So if she's moving away from you and stuff like that, forget it. Don't play yourself. You know what I mean? And don't let her play herself. Because if she wants it, she has to be able to meet you halfway. You know what I'm saying? How do you get from the kiss into the next stage? And as you see, I'm already rubbing on Barry's bottom. So if you're kissing, right? You're kissing, woo, and you just move those hands around her back, right? You move those hands around her back. You move them to the lower back, right? If she's still with it, she's still kissing you and your hands are down on her lower back, move them down to the bottom, right? You just massage the bottom a little bit, right? And then you see, some people are going to be with it, doing it earlier than others. Some people are not. So, you can, like, let's say if she has on, if she has on some pants or something, you could try to put your hand down the back of her pants to squeeze her bottom. If she's not with it, she'll let you know that she's not with it. She'll move your hand, pull it out or whatever, and then and then after that, you just stop. But if you put it down and she's with it, you put the other one down, you start squeezing the bottom, and then hopefully nature will take over and tell you what it is that you need to do next. But if nature doesn't take over and you're not really sure what you need to do next, this is going to be the exploratory phase. So you're going to try to figure out, what is it that turns her on? Does touching the bottom turn her on? Is she turned on by kisses on the neck? Is she turned on by kisses on the ear? Is she turned on by rubbing on her breast? So you're going to have to see what elicits the biggest response, so that you can find out what's her primary, secondary, and tertiary spots. So a woman has, oh gracious, it look Barry has a camel toe. So a woman has several spots. A woman has a spot right there in the front. A woman has her bottom. She has her breast. She has her neck, ears. There's so many different spots that you can just try and see. Do you get a good response from bottom rubbing? What about from putting your hand on her bosom and squeezing, massaging that, seeing if you can get down to give a little sucky suck or a licky lick, see how she responds to that. And then, continue. See if you can put your hand down in the front and see how she feels about that. This video is getting vulgar, isn't it? You smell good, Barry. Do I? And then hopefully after you start, going and doing all of this, hopefully nature will take over and you'll get to the next steps. Hopefully, because I think that there are things that are built in all of us that know how to get, when things start rising and moistening, they attract themselves to one another, and then hopefully you just go from there. Right? So listen, on that note, I'm sorry I molested you today, Barry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But listen, on that note, if you've done it already, and you're not really in a position to be able to get it done right then and there, you can get things started. So if you're a man, one of the things that you absolutely must do, this is, as a woman, this is one of the best feelings in the world. And from every woman that I've ever surveyed, she said the same thing too. And if there are any women who are watching this video who don't feel this way, I would love for you to comment below. If you do feel this way too, like I do and like other women do, comment that below too, so that the guys can understand how magnificent this feels. All right. So like, let's say your girl, she's washing dishes or cooking, right? She's washing dishes, she's cooking, she's doing something, minding her own business. One of the things that you absolutely must do is you must come up behind her and embrace her. Kiss her on the back of the neck. Just give her a squeeze from behind while she's doing something else. That is one of the most magnificent feelings in the entire world. I don't know why, but it just is one of the most magnificent feelings. So just give her a nice embrace from the back. Maintain open lines of touch between you and your partner. Slap her on the bottom as you're passing. Slap her on the bottom. Just do little things to just keep the touch going between you all. All right. So if you've already done it and you want to get into a position where you can do it again, right? So Keep the open lines of touch between one another. Slap her on the bottom when you're passing by, and just kind of, keep the intimacy going. Keep the touch going, right? And from the exploration that you've done beforehand, you'll know what her primary, secondary, and tertiary spots are. So you can touch her in her tertiary spot or secondary spot, and then see how, see if you can warm her up into getting into that primary spot or something, see if you can warm her up to getting to that space, right? 3, if you have already done it before and you're in a position to be able to do it again, and you want to know how to kind of get it started, like let's say you two are laying in bed together and you two are spooning, right? Well, if the mood comes over you and you want to do it, right? It's very simple. You just, if you push that erection up on her, push it a little, not in, just on her buttocks, fully clothed or whatnot, just push it on her buttocks. And if she moves back into you, green light. If she moves away, yellow light. If she elbows you, red light. Don't the red light, just move back. All right. So if she's laying next to you and you know what her primary, secondary, and tertiary spots are, start with the tertiary, move between secondary and tertiary spots until you get the green light, the warmth, the moving into it to know that you want to go to her primary spot. So then you go to the primary spot. And then remember, like I said, you don't want to stay on one spot too long. You want to mix it up a little, because like I said, women have defense mechanisms that have evolved over time to stop them from going into a continuous continuous arousal into the next state. So a woman's arousal will break off several points, just as nature's way to be like, oh, do you really want to do this? So you just want to move around from different spots. Allow her to warm up, and then listen, let nature take over. Let nature take over. And let me know what you thought about this tutorial today. I hope that it does help somebody. If it did help you, please leave a comment below. If you don't feel comfortable leaving a comment, you can always contact me on my website, which is TonyaTKO.com. You can hit the contact button and make sure that you get yourself a copy of my self-love, the book of affirmation, self-love, which is going to rewrite your subconscious programming into having extreme self-confidence, self-worth, and those sorts of things. All right. So on that note, thank you, Barry. And I'm sorry that I molested you. Like I said, I'm sorry that I molested you today, Barry. But hopefully people can learn from our example, right? Hopefully people can learn from our example. And I will see you all in the next video. All right. Tonya TKO, and I'm out. Go out there and love one another. But most importantly, what? That's right. Love yourself. Love yourself. All right. And loving yourself is, realizing when you need a little bit of assistance and allowing yourself to get that assistance. Realizing that none of us have all of the answers. There's so many of us that think that other people have so much more information than we do, that other people are doing so much more than we are actually doing. And that's one of the reasons that you must get this book. It's a workbook where you actually go through the different steps to be able to write out and do the things that you need to do to rewrite your subconscious programming. All right. So on that note, me and Barry are going to head out of here. Thank you so much for watching, and we will catch you in the next video. Peace.